Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for watching. We are back on the pit bike again. I told you next time we were going to clean up all the bolts and chase the threads. We're going to do some painting. We're going to do some cleaning. Probably not in that order. But the first order of business, and I got a little excited because I started doing this without you guys, but I'll tell you what it involved. These two here and these two right there, I can see that one and this one, are the motor mounts that go on the bottom right there, those 4 holes there. I had one bolt on that holding it in, and I had that flexible joint that attached there, and that was it. So I took it out, got it on the table to see what the situation was. These are all supposed to be 5 millimeters. One of them, the head was snapped off and it was inside. And the bottom 2 are now drilled out and tapped to a 6 mil instead of the smaller 5 mil. Now it says right on here, if you're wondering how to know what to drill it out to, it says 6 mil 1.0. Right below that it says DR for drill, 13/64. So I got the 13/64 bit, drilled it out, aluminum. It was super easy. These are nice bits. I still got a few more to do. So we're gonna clean up the starter bolts. Oh, and there's one missing there. I think that might be a ground wire. Actually, it's missing on purpose. And then we'll clean up those, and we'll put the new hardware that I got too. They're just like some button head Allen wrench button heads, however you want to say it. But we'll replace all of those with the button heads. 304 stainless. They're all going to look shiny. Have a nice custom look to it. And we'll try to replace every single one on here because I can't. I did clean these up and even put Loctite on them, and I was gonna reuse them where I could, but then just realized I didn't have enough matching of anything, and these 5 mils ended up just not really being reusable, so I ordered a kit, and it's gonna look pretty cool. But for now, let's get to cleaning and just chasing the rest of these threads so they're nice and straight again. So this I already wire brushed, and it's good enough. I'm not painting anything. I'm just trying to knock off all this gunk just so it looks a little better when I do paint the other pieces. So right here I am trying to take off the starter and fan. One, because I don't know how it works, and 2, this bolt right here that I'm trying to take off is stripped. That is a long bolt that goes down into the center and it holds that plate on it just took off. So I got that off, and I'm trying to get that bolt out now. But the starter won't come unwedged from the crank, so I end up just fixing the threads and bolting it back together. So you can see I took off the cylinder there I could have left it alone, but after taking it apart the first time, I wasn't so sure the gasket was in the best shape. So I took it apart to clean the holes and to clean the surface there. You can see now it's nice and shiny. And I'm chasing the threads now with some ACs. Then I'll just use some RTV to put it all back together. And the bright side is maybe I'll have a fraction more compression ratio. And I use my blowgun to get rid of the debris even before I back it out, just to make backing out a little bit simpler. You can see the tool I'm using there is just barely long enough to get all the way down in there, but it works. And then I actually use 2 bolts to hold the starter down while I tap the other 2. Then I'll put in 2 bolts from the ones I tapped, take out the first 2, and clean those out. Alright, it's all cleaned up. And I couldn't figure out how to take the starter off. You saw me struggling there. I undid the bolts, but I'm sure it's wedged on. I think from what I can tell, it's wedged on a cone shape. And I'm not trying to mess anything up, trying to pry it off. So I cleaned out the holes anyways, and found out that this parking pawl bolt is stripped. So I've got a new one of those on order along with a new pull starter. So just in case the starter doesn't work anymore after me messing around, at least I got a pull starter that works, because I didn't have one in this one. It was broken from when I got it. And all the hardware is on its way too, so we'll have fresh new hardware in all of this. Alright, I lied. I couldn't help it. It's not like I don't have some extra time on my hands anyway. But I did it right, you know. I used I sanded it all down. Used the plastic adhesion promoter, some primer, and then the color. This is leftover color from doing my Magnum center caps. But it's not bad, you know. I wasn't trying to get it perfect. I just wanted it to kind of look cool and uniform. I painted the bracket that holds on the motor somewhere back there. And then I also cleaned up this cap. I ran out of red, but I would have painted this cap red too if I had more. So take a look at how dirty this motor is right now. And then alright, I got the bolts in. Looks amazing. You can see I got a few here holding on the cap and the starter. Not bad. You got the larger M6 motor mount and then the M5 front motor mounts. And they're also the same as the cover bolts there for that clutch or whatever that magneto is. And then got the RTV. I don't have a gasket, so I'm using some of this stuff. It's setting right now. Piston, threw a little 2-stroke oil on there. Just for some extra lube. Got the inside of that rubbed down with it as well, just for first startup. And then we'll bolt on the torque converter. It's sitting over there draining, and then we'll fill that up. And there it is, all back together. The red looks pretty good. Yeah, I know this doesn't work right now. I don't have that pawl bolt is stripped out, so I'm waiting for that to come in. Because right now I don't have a pawl plate. There's no way to bolt the plate down. Not a bad little setup. Looks good with the cover on there. Oh, there's a piece I forgot here. There we go. And that plugs in there. And this bracket will bolt there, like that. All right, let's get it in. Alright, I got it all hooked up. It's back in. The exhaust is on with fresh hardware. Looks pretty good. Everything's back in place. Messed up part is I did mess up the starter. I must have messed it up trying to pry it off, because I get nothing. And I used that, and I'm getting 12 volts down here at the wire. You can hear the solenoid clicking. So, starter's toast. Wah, wah, wah. Worst part is, I had all the plastics on it and everything too. And something was hung up, actually. It's like, oh no, I messed something up inside. But what it was is the wheel inside here. Right here sits the coil. The coil was actually scraping on that wheel that sweeps underneath it, and it was hanging it up. So I had to adjust it up. But then I was like, oh great, the starter's gonna work. It wasn't the starter. and then still blah. So the pull starter is already on the way. It's just gonna be a little while. So I think until then, I'll get this guy back together and give you a shot of it, what it looks like with the red and black. Still needs to be cleaned up and stuff, so it's not perfect, but give me a sec. There it is, all put back together. It looks pretty cool out here when it's all put together. Look at that. Got a lot of grass, need to mow. Still got a lot of fixing to do on the fairings and that windshield. But it's not bad. And it's fun. And another thing that just showed up I want to show you guys is the scooter for the motor for the scooter. Look at the size of this thing. I mean, it is way lighter. 100, God, I don't know, half the weight than the one that's in that one out there. And this thing has a ton of compression too. It's pretty awesome. It has a short pull, but you only get about 2 pops in each pull. But that's that motor. And so maybe next video we'll try to figure out some plans on how to start making a scooter. But until then, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Again, in the next one, I don't know what it's gonna be. I kind of want to do the exhaust on the Suburban since I put up the pickup truck here. The Suburban is needing some parts off of it. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to be that. I don't know. I've got a lot of stuff on the table and kind of like missing a little bit here and there for all of it. So, but stay tuned. Next video, we'll get one of these things knocked out. All right, guys. See you later.